Now tuning in to Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.
We did it.
We did it. That's it, actually. That's all we needed.
And good night, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
That's actually all we needed. I do want to let you know from the jump, Zia, that I'm very excited, first of all, to talk to you. I've heard nothing but amazing things. Cody has talked you up so much.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. I'm very flattered.
I have heard nothing but the best things about you.
The guest list for this podcast is very exclusive because Allie and I have done this for 6 years, and most of those years have just been us.
It's true.
We don't often allow other human beings in here, so it's a high praise to be in the fold here, and you are very well deserving of that.
Oh, thank you.
You were like I asked Cody for recommendations, usually just for context. So usually in the summer we like to get people to come on for the show so that we can have a summer break that never ends up usually happening. This might be the first time.
Yeah.
And on the list that Cody sent over, you were on the top of the list.
Oh,
That's true.
So to end up being, you are the first person that we are recording for this summer. So high praise all around.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here.
Hell yeah.
For anyone, Zia, who has the audacity to not know who you are, could you let them know who you are and what you do?
All right. Yeah. So I'm Zia. I'm based just south of Los Angeles, but I'm a Cali girl, born and raised. I worked with Cody previously. We were both audience editors at BuzzFeed. So it's like a big fancy word for like social media. We were the people running the accounts. So if you ever commented on a news post,
right,
that was us seeing your tweets. Like, I'm like getting ahead of myself, but like one of the things that has brought me joy, at least in the last like day or two, has been the Entertainment Weekly
oh my god.
Twitter admin, whoever's
solidarity.
Such solidarity. I don't know how many times I wanted to say, like, to just be so brutally honest. But yeah, that's what I did. That's what I do. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Which is, gigs, but, we should say, for clarity's sake, that has never been, will never be an intern's job.
No, never.
Right.
Never.
It
Not
cannot, it that is in no way possible.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's often looked at as intern work, but in no way, shape, or form is that intern work.
Right.
The amount of work that goes into, you see a 30-second video, but there's like hours and hours of work that go behind that, talking to people who don't understand what you do to try to get them to understand what you do. Yeah. We are not interns, nor should we be paid like interns.
Right. Yes, 100%. Now, how many times, this is a question just for you, but also I would imagine, Cody, you got this as well. How many times did you have an ask that compromised essentially going viral?
Oh my god, like...
Just make this famous. Actually.
What if?
Just all the time.
For me, it's been like, I've been seeing a lot of this on my For You page. Can we do this? And I'm like,
no.
Are you going to give me the time and resources to do this?
No, of course not.
Yeah, the answer is always no.
We'd be in those big all hands meetings, and the CEO of that company would be like, yeah, we're just going to put all our stuff into video. We're going to go viral all the time. And I'm like, oh, God, the pressure. the pressure is getting worse. That's how I felt every single time.
Great.
Yes, but
That is...
yeah.
In order to... I wanted to be able to honor you in this space and make you feel welcome. So I did my due diligence to learn a little bit about you. I did send these to Cody ahead of time.
Yeah, you had me like screen these questions.
Just to make sure that I was... because I was curious. I wanted to learn a little bit about you.
Sure.
And I learned that we had some similarities. So I wanted to ask you a couple of questions, if that was okay with you. Just
Yeah, sure.
hot one style. So first of all, I learned that you had an English degree. I also have an English degree. So first of all, I'm sorry. The second question is why? Why?
I'm bad at math. That's the very
Valid.
short
Okay,
answer.
same. Okay.
Yeah, so true.
Okay, that's you know what.
And I like science, but not enough to do it full time.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. You know what? Asked and answered.
Yeah.
My second question for you. I have a fuck, marry, kill.
Okay.
Your choices are Anik from the After Party,
Okay.
Sydney from The Bear, and Roy Kent
Okay.
from Ted Lasso.
Oh my gosh. This is very hard.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh god.
Allie, I imagine you like sitting at home, like
Impossible
inventing
choices.
a saw trap waiting for you to walk into. And like, what are you? I love that this is like you're just
Nick from the After Party,
thinking over.
Sydney from The Bear, and Roy Kent. Okay. I'm going to kill Anik from the After Party.
Damn.
I'm so
Damn.
sorry.
Rip.
Had there been different choices, he probably would have been a Mary. I feel like he would have been a good Mary option, but like,
Yeah,
Sydney
you only get
and
one of those, so
Roy Kent,
Right, that's true.
no.
You don't get two
So-
Marys, notably, with this
Yeah,
option.
I don't get two Marys. So kill Anik, I would say, fuck Sydney, and
Fuck
marry
yeah.
Roy Kent.
That's okay. Great. I love it.
Yeah.
that's respectable. Yeah.
Okay. I did see that you felt comfortable enough on the internet to share your big three.
Okay. Yes, all the time.
So, right, yeah. So we share a Gemini sun. So congratulations
Sick.
on that.
yes.
I saw that you have a Cancer moon, primarily in your 8th house. So I just wanted to know how your relationship with your mom is.
Oh my gosh. Hot and cold.
Okay. Yeah. All right. That's fair. The
Allie just holding a revolver right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
we're almost done. You're doing a great job. With the Abbott Elementary cast, who
Okay.
the characters, not the actors, who is seeing Barbie first and who is seeing Oppenheimer first?
Who's seeing Barbie first? Who is seeing Oppenheimer first? I would say Jacob for sure is seeing... He's seeing Barbie first.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, yeah, I'm seeing Barbie first and Oppenheimer, and someone will bring up, like, that's crazy. Why would you do that?
Yeah. You need to schedule your emotions better.
Yeah, like, you're not scheduling them
Whatever
correctly.
influencer he... Like, whatever the Daily says, that's what he's going to do.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
What is Janine
Gregory
doing?
would... Janine would see... I feel like... Honestly, I feel like she would go either way. If she's going to see it with Jacob, she'd do it with whatever Jacob's order is. If she's going with Gregory, she'd do Gregory's order. Gregory, I feel like, would have the sense to go to Oppenheimer first and then end on a high note. Because that's just logical.
I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it tracks.
I do not see Barbara wanting to see Oppenheimer at all.
Right.
Yeah.
I
feel
don't
like
think
that's-
that she could make it through 2.
No.
Yeah.
She's
It's a lot of
gonna
sensory
see the
overload,
Bright
too.
Fun movie, and she's gonna like see all the actors in the Barbie movie and then call them by the wrong name. And
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
she's
I
gonna
love
call
that so
like
much.
Margot Robbie, like Maggie Gyllenhaal or something, like something really
Fuck.
way off.
I would have loved to
And
see Maggie
Ryan
Gyllenhaal
Gosling
as
is
a
Ryan Reynolds. Yeah.
Fuck. Give me that Barbie movie immediately.
Yeah. I would like to see it.
But I feel like who else? Miss Shementi, she I think is gonna be all in on like Oppenheimer. It's
Yeah.
like I feel like that's like totally her speed. If she has time and patience, she might go see Barbie later, but Oppenheimer day one, she's first in line.
Gets in a fight with her sister in the hallway.
Yes, they run into
Yeah.
each other at the movies, and it's a whole thing.
Got it. I love this. That's beautiful choices.
Yeah. It's very solid all around. A lot of science behind all this.
Right? Okay, ending on a high note. The titular song from the Lizzie McGuire movie, This Is What Dreams Are Made Of.
Yes.
Which parts do you think Beyonce would do, and which parts do you think Blue would do?
Oh, like who would be Lizzie and who would be Isabella?
Yeah.
I feel like Blue would want to be Lizzie, but like Beyonce is not gonna let Blue do that. She's like, sit back down, let mom show you how to do it.
Right.
Yeah. It's like, you're going to have your first
like,
verse, and I'm going to let you do
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
You gotta
dues,
leave.
Blue.
I love that so much. Do you think in this scenario, do you think Jay-Z would be Paolo?
Yes,
Stop.
100%.
Okay. I love
Yes.
it. I love it so much. Okay.
Oh my god.
There were that actually solidifies a lot of things for me.
do you feel like all of your answers have been met?
Yes. Yeah, that answered a lot of like philosophical questions for me actually.
Sure. Yeah.
You had briefly mentioned this before about one of your happy things. Has there been this? Usually, it takes a lot for us to bring a happy thing. Has there been anything happy to you recently? What's a happy thing that's happened?
My happy thing actually ties into Pitch Perfect.
Oh.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
We love a
didn't intend
thematic.
for it too, but
Yes.
I realized that it did. I have been like really every time I see it, I have to stop. The like DJs on TikTok like mashing up songs. They're
Yes.
so good. And I wish like Spotify would like let them put them on that platform because I would just like play them all day long. I have
get
to
it.
like that's why the only reason I have a SoundCloud is so I can like play these at my leisure. But I love them so much. I heard this one recently that mashed up like Pretty Girls Walk with like Brain Stew.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
Yes, it was like, wow, I was like, this should not work, but this goes
Yeah.
so hard. I love it. And yeah, like they're so good. Like there's like Amorphous and like DJ Hamster Dance.
Oh my god.
my God.
Yes.
I love that guy. They're so good.
I love this. You understand. This is so
Yeah.
important.
You're both on very similar wavelengths this past week, because Ellie also had a very strong fixation on this.
Yeah, I feel like we just talked about DJ Hamster Dance. That dude has a brain, like a true galaxy brain.
Seriously, I'm like, why would you think to put these two songs together? But it works so well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, I'm a little
well.
scared of it, but I am impressed, so I have to hand it to him.
I love it. Cody, what's your happy thing?
I want to talk about a television show.
Please.
Again. Hello.
Ooh.
I've been watching a bunch of television. Obviously, I have no job, and also I am not doing anything. So I'm kind of, and I'm also trying to use my Netflix a little bit more, because out of all the like streaming stuff I have, it's kind of the one I don't use
Agreed.
at all. So I'm like, I gotta just like see what's around. Let's just bumble through, right? And I realized they had a hit MTV show from 2013 that I've heard a lot about, but I've never actually watched before. And that is Zack Stone Is Gonna Be Famous. Created and
Okay.
starring our dude, Bo Burnham.
All right. I'm in it.
Yeah. And it's
Give me
essentially like a
quick synopsis.
mockumentary.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, I know. And oh my god, sorry, there's a huge doorbell. Anyway, it's essentially like a mockumentary type deal about this kid who's like just graduating high school and is like he like hires a film crew to follow him around and be like, I'm gonna try every way to be famous over the summer, so I don't have to go to college or like figure out what to do with my life. And it's great. Like in hindsight, it's like, you know, a decade old at this point, but it's very like proto the other two. It feels very like akin to like these kind of conversations we have in current TV shows about like celebrity and like influencer culture and yada yada. And it's very funny and also very silly, but very extremely 2013, but also very now. Which is, I hate it, but I love it. It is true. It is a true thing. We're just cyclical beings. But it's very good. I would recommend it. And there's like a lot of very classic Bo Burnham isms throughout it, but it's like also a fully realized type thing around it.
And it only ran for one season, right?
Yeah, it's one season. I think it's like 12 or 14 episodes or something, and they're like all half hour. But it definitely feels, I feel like when people rewatch it or watch it for the first time now, they're like, this was like really ahead of its time. And like, I don't know if it kind of is true, but like, you know, but it felt like at that time was not the longer multi-season type arcs we were having for like a show like that, especially like that mockumentary style. That's not like an Office or a Parks and Rec or whatever. But yeah, it's very interesting and very like has like a lot of fun transient things that like apply. That I'm like, okay, sir, I get what you're doing here.
Netflix is just holding on to that MTV licensed content with white knuckles before it moves over.
Yeah, it's like, this is our last shot. Yeah.
That's what?
Yeah. Would recommend. What about you, my dude?
I realized I haven't talked about this season of I Think You Should Leave yet.
Oh, shit.
And I feel like that is
Let's go.
Disservice.
Yeah.
This is also what I use my Netflix for. Because so here's the thing. My relationship with Netflix is I usually, for most of the year, cancel my subscription. And then I feel like, I would say once during the summer, and then maybe like once during the winter, I renew it and just catch up. So like every 6 months. Just because otherwise, Cody, you're exactly right. There's nothing else happening there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This was definitely one of those times where it was like, all right, I had to get it for the ultimatum. And then I just caught up on everything else. And I Think You Should Leave was one of those. And there's nothing else I can say about Tim Robinson that no one else has said before. And we've talked about him, right? Like, he's a white man. He's funny.
Totally.
There's like, listen, I don't know what else to tell you. This season had some definite hits for me, where I think some of my neighbors were like, is this woman is she fine? What's happening? The zip line got me. It got me good.
Yeah.
I still think about it and just giggle to myself. The Reagan pig mask legitimately scared the shit out of me.
That was wild.
That had a lot happening there.
Much happening.
I did not expect the crooner to make me laugh as much as it did, but you know what? Damn it. It did, so
I'm not ashamed of it.
And the nice thing is that it's not just quick, but I do love the little like 70s interstitials. So
yeah, the intros and like the interstitial stuff is so fire.
Yeah,
and like I feel like they keep getting
so
like
too.
slightly more textured and like good. I'm like very into them.
Yeah, so it's just like, thank you for this gift.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to rewatch. Like sometimes I will just turn on the first episode with the handyman and the toilet, and it makes me laugh as much as I watched it the first time. Yeah. So
that's how you know it's good. If it can still make you laugh as hard the second and third time as it did the first time.
Exactly. Yeah. Some of them don't hit as much for me, but I will say for the majority they do. And you know what? I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm thankful.
It's a pretty high success rate, I feel.
It is.
Which is incredibly
Yeah.
difficult.
I will say more. It's the highest success rate than I can think of for white men in comedy. I'll say that.
Sure. Yeah. Totally. Yeah.
There's not a lot of white men in comedy that I'll vouch for, but
Yeah. Not all as consistent, certainly.
Yes. Consistency is key.
right.
Yeah.
So, especially if I'm like gonna seek out someone on Netflix. Ooh.
Yes.
So thank you. I think you should leave for making a bit about like a Bachelor type show. First of all, you've got my number.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you. I have been waiting on bated breath, Zia, for you to tell me your Twilight backstory, because I saw you mention something about your Breaking Dawn Part 2 opening night experience. So I would love for you to tell me everything about
Oh my
your
gosh.
experience with Twilight.
So my journey with Twilight starts in the middle school library.
As it should.
Our library had started a book club, and that was the very first pick.
Damn.
Oh my God.
Which is like wild that my charter middle school picked Twilight. And I devoured it, and I was like, I love this. And I like was so like engrossed in it. My mom was like, I want to see what you're reading about that's got you so captivated. And then she started reading it.
It's Mormonism, Mom.
Seriously, it's spreading. And yeah, like ever since then, it's just been, it has consumed me quite literally. We did, I have like my really funniest, I think it was like, what movie was it? I want to think it was like The Eclipse opening night premiere. We got there to the theater late. It was like me, my friend, and my mom drove us to the theater. And the back of the line was like in the way back of the theater, and it was kind of dark. And my mom was like, I'm not going to drop you off at the back of the line in the back of the theater. That's weird. So she like found this group of girls in the front of the line, and she gave them $40. And she's like, this is for snacks. Pretend like you know my daughter and her friend so they can
Hell
wait in line with you. And I was like, one of those baller moves she's ever pulled. So we were one of the first people in, and they were like, hey Zia, hey Brie. I was like, I've never seen these girls in my life. And we got to go in with them. But Breaking Dawn Part 2, I actually was grounded. What I did, I don't know why, but I was grounded the weekend that movie came out, and I was so pissed because all of my friends were going to go see it, and I couldn't go see it. So I had to go to like a tutoring thing on like a Sunday morning, and I didn't tell my parents that the tutoring thing got canceled.
Oh, hell yes.
I just said, I'm going to tutoring. And I paid for my ticket in cash, as to not leave a paper trail.
Oh, you went to church. You went to church that day.
Yes, and I sat in there watching this movie, and the infamous big scene at the end. I literally, if they had killed one more person, I would have walked out of the theater and never known how it ended. I was like, this was not what was in the box. Like, I was freaking out, and I was like, what is this? And then I was like, whoop, just a dream, just a vision. I was like, the sigh of relief that left my body. Oh my God.
Did you think that it was like punishment for you? Like, did you think your mom had like made a fake cut of the movie?
I had been hearing like all my friends were like, this was crazy, da 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 da, and they were like, they wouldn't tell me anything about it. So I was like, what happened that no one will tell me what happened? So when I saw it, I was kind of pissed that they didn't tell me. They didn't mentally prepare me for what I was about to walk into. And yeah, afterwards I was like, whew. So like 2 weeks later, my mom was like, okay, let's go to the theaters to see it. I had to pretend like I had never seen it before. So it was
God.
I got to use my theater kid training And like, oh, Carlisle, gasp at all the right points. But yeah.
Oh my god.
That's
Violet's been a trip.
powerful. That is such a layered story. Wow.
It's a very, my friend says it's very peak Gemini of me. That I created a whole ruse.
But it is critical. Did you read
Yes.
Midnight Sun when it came out?
Yes. Oh,
Okay.
I pre-ordered it. It was in my hand the day it came out in my home. Yes. And I loved every second of it.
That is... Are you planning... how do you feel about the news that there might be a television show?
There are obviously some things that, like, are definitely going to need to be updated. That's, like, my first immediate thought.
Right.
Yeah.
But, like, this stuff will not fly in today's time. But, like, I with now that we have Midnight Sun, I think it's going to be, like, pretty okay. Because I think we have that dual POV now. We can, like, flip back and forth between here's what's going on with the humans, here's what's going on with the vampires. Because, like, my whole time reading Midnight Sun, I was like, oh my gosh, I want them to remake the movie with both sides now, because, like, some of the things that, like, Edward was getting into, I was like, this is way more interesting than Bella just moping around in her room. Oh my god. I'd much rather, like, this is when we need to cut away from her and go to the Cullen house.
Yeah, at the
I
very least, we
have
need cutaways
questions
of
for
Edward brooding while listening to, like, the Smiths. It's kind of at the very least, we need equal brooding time.
Yeah. And just, like, the amount of, like, the revelations that came from Midnight Sun, I was like, him, like, leaving Bella, I was like, wait, so that was premeditated? He was already gonna do that? Oh my god. Puts everything into, like, perspective for me, and I enjoyed that as a reader. It was like official fanfic.
He was a true mastermind the whole time.
True. Yes.
Oh my god.
Pulling the strings from the very beginning. I was like,
But then he still
A
had the
man.
audacity to be like, oh, but my feelings are hurt.
yeah.
I'm so sad.
At the end of the day, he's a man, so
Right.
That's what men do.
Right, exactly. This time period is critical for thinking about specifically Pitch Perfect.
Yeah.
When had you seen this the first time? Had you seen it when it came out?
Yes, I distinctly remember seeing it. I think me and my friends, we had the day off of school and we all went to go see it together. Wow. It was a big group excursion.
Now, Cody, when was the last time that you saw Pitch Perfect?
That's a great question. I feel like, honestly, the last time I saw it was not the first time I saw it, I feel.
Okay.
Because I think there was, like, a time, maybe, like, early college, I, like, revisited it, I think.
Okay.
But, like, when it first came out, I was very into this motion picture. I think I saw it multiple times in theaters. And I think I watched it kind of as an adult, or, like, a baby adult, barely an adult. And then not since then. And so watching it last night was a real treat.
Yeah, that's how I felt. The grip. This movie had a very firm grip on the culture.
God.
In 2012.
Just, like, the Tumblr era of this movie was bananas. Like, the amount of fan fiction about Becca and every woman in this movie. Like, in every gift set of that one fucking titanium shower scene.
Oh my god.
Bonkers. They were everywhere.
So,
it was nonstop.
For context of how critical this was, this movie came out a week, 2 weeks or so into my freshman year of college. So this movie evokes such a specific, like, time period for me.
Yeah.
Two or so days ago, maybe a couple days ago, I saw a TikTok where someone was talking about this time period. specifically 2012. And someone in the comments was saying like, oh, what I would have given to, you know, be in high school, be in college in this time. And I've never felt more old in my entire life.
Yeah.
Because
the Crypt Keeper.
they don't, like, what are you reminiscing on?
There's nothing great about that time. Like,
No.
Yeah, I was a sophomore in high school, 2012. Yeah, no. It was nothing but, like, Cobra Starship and the Cup song. That was, like, my 2012. And I'm happy to not be there now.
No. I mean, listen, the music still rips. Don't get me wrong. This movie would not have worked if it wasn't this time period, because the music is what it is.
Yeah.
But the nostalgia only works if you were getting blackout drunk to these songs. The problem lies that when I was a freshman in college, when this movie came out, I wasn't Becca. I wasn't Baby Gemstone, who went to go hang out with John Mayer. I was fucking Ben Platt. Like, I was singing these songs in my room. So it doesn't evoke, like, fun nostalgia if you weren't part of the, and I'm saying cool in, like, quotes, because they were part of, like, an a cappella group. So, like, let's be real here.
Right.
This came out during Glee. So, like, listen, they're still fucking nerds. But, you know, some of us were nervous about getting good grades, okay?
Yeah. Very much.
Can I just say about Ben Platt, too, in this?
I'm so sorry. I forgot he was in this.
It's okay. No, here's the thing, though.
30 years old.
He does.
It's really unfortunate. However, it was honestly very refreshing to be reminded of how he used to be perceived and also used to be cast in Hollywood.
Yes.
Like, I long for the days when he was typecast and considered a loser in everything. It felt more endearing, because I feel like he's too hot now. He's on some, like, Hollywood Ozempic shit. Like, he's too far up there, and people now think that he is, like, cool when he's objectively not, because he's a musical theater nerd. That's the whole point.
But at his core,
they can't be the same.
Still a musical theater nerd. Like, I
exactly.
never.
You can't run from that.
Man gets, those are his roots, and that's how I know him.
Yeah. Right. Don't forget your history. Okay.
The Dear Evan Hansen movie in 2012. The only reason that he could do Dear Evan Hansen, the musical, was because he was far away from the audience.
Yes.
But you get that
so
close
respectfully,
up in 2012. He doesn't look, none of these actors, and that was very refreshing to watch this 11 years after the first time. None of these actors look 18.
No.
And when I
was
watched
like,
this,
are they freshmen?
Exactly. And listen, like being a freshman in college means so much now, right? Like knowing that you can be 30, right? But this is very much, they're all trying to pretend like they're 18, like a traditional first year in college. When I watched
literally,
this for the first
Brittany
time,
Snow
I
looks
thought they
like
were all
everyone's
18.
mom.
They're 30.
Yeah.
It's
And I feel like that's a lot, like, with shows now, too, when I see, like, quote-unquote, like, teens, I'm like, you don't look like a teenager. Or you didn't look like how I looked when I was a teenager, and this is, like, really weird for me, personally. Yeah.
And that's why they pull off the 2012 business casual. Whereas if they were actually 18, it would look as weird as it did when we were in 2012.
right.
Yeah.
It's confusing. So, I'm sorry if y'all watch this, because there's way more Ben Platt than I, remembered existing. And also his sideburns are just abhorrent.
They're violent. They're
so scary. I also completely blacked out that McLovin is in this.
Okay. Literally, one of my notes in my notes app is just McLovin in all caps with several question marks.
Yes,
I was so thrown off. I was so unbelievably thrown off. And why is he there? What? Why?
Why is
It's
he like
very
an
random.
MC? What's
Yeah.
that? He's like
I'm confused.
I don't know, like the talent manager for both the a cappella groups.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
somehow just the manager or whatever. I'm confused. Where are we?
I have questions.
Oh my god.
The choice to make Anna Kendrick channel Bella Swan New Moon in this, and that being they just put black eyeliner on her and now she's alternative, is a choice.
Right.
It's a
It's
very
really-
good choice.
Yeah. And being
And
like,
that-
I'm gonna be a famous DJ. This is my life's passion. I'm going to be.
I'm not here for college. I want to go to LA to make music. Like, bro,
Right.
chill. You can do both.
And the fact that when someone is like, knows the song Titanium, she's like, oh my god, you know who David Guetta is? He's like so underground. And it's like, ma'am, this is 2012. That is the biggest song on the radio.
You can't
also-
get away from it.
You can't escape that song. That song was everywhere.
There are some. Yeah. Also, I'm sure. We don't really see it, but she looks like she knows how to run the computer programs that being a DJ requires. However, there's some truly violent mashups in this movie. Most specifically, there's several Titanium mashups, which is, again, this song is everywhere.
Yeah.
But the first one that we hear proper is in her exposition or whatever is a mashup of Titanium and I Would Walk 500 Miles, which I had to pause and walk away. I had to take a lap. It was so violent. Who decided?
Is very, I will say, very 2012. I
Sure.
heard
so
yes.
2012.
is very like, listen, I heard that song a lot in Hank and John videos at that time. They're not
Sure.
wrong. But if this this movie is supposed to be about like the pinnacle of music at this time. Like this movie
Right.
only exists because it's I think it's Universal. Because how else would they have gotten
Right.
the
All
Breakfast
those
Club,
licensings.
right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the later movies do this too, right? Like, how else do you can't just get Party in the USA. Like,
I want to know what their licensing budget was. Cause,
right,
like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
they have
songs.
money. But it only works if you have the budget for this music. It just haunts me how it's such a time capsule of this specific year, because when all of the initiates of the a cappella group start losing it to Andy Grammer, I felt ill.
Yeah.
Because Jesse was like, I am living, like, this is my moment. I feel like I belong in college. And it's like, sir, you are singing Andy Grammer right now. Humble yourself. Please.
Oh my god.
But that's where I feel. Also, can we spend a little bit more time on the shower scene, please? 'Cause
Yeah, we gotta-
It was fundamental.
We gotta
to
circle
my
back.
youth.
Look, altered brain chemistry is. I think that's what I wrote in my notes.
Yeah.
It did. It
Yeah.
changed a lot.
People died. This was something I watched this with Nicole last night, obviously, and we noticed that like this is now like a trope, like the finding someone in the shower as they are singing to like recruit them for whatever thing they're doing happens often, which feels not great, right? Like just objectively,
Yeah.
given the whole rounding on it, but it's like Elf, that happens there. Glee,
Yeah, I have
famously,
more than one nickel, which is weird.
more.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's like not a lot of times, but it's not a lot of times.
Right.
Given how specific it is. But this one, objectively, the gayest. So I guess we get points there. So that's great.
Yeah, the fact that Brittany Snow's like, I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving until you sing
Yeah.
the song. Ma'am?
Yeah.
Okay.
get into some uncomfortable territory, ma'am.
The longer we stay in the shower, the more susceptible we are to diseases, because both of you aren't wearing shower flip-flops, which is weird.
I'm glad I wasn't the only person who was thinking that. I was like, there's no shower shoes. Oh, God.
Exactly.
Nasty.
And we're just... A college shower is an in and out situation. We're not lingering.
We're definitely not having sex in there, Brittany Snow.
No.
Ma'am. But whatever. I mean, listen, this is all for comedy, right? This is all fake, so whatever. Okay? But, okay, fine. How did you all feel about having to listen to the Cup song again?
God. It's such like a sleeper cell activation.
It did activate something
takes you
in
back.
me again that I forgot
It did.
about.
It reawoken something
Yeah.
from my youth.
Just like I'm sure the collective damage of that song is infinite, but
No Cup in 2012 was safe. Let me tell you that.
so true.
I just remember like it's like me. I gave it like a week after that movie came out, and like I feel like walking around school, like anytime anyone saw a cup or something anywhere, its contents were emptied, and we got our ticket for the long way round, and it was wild. And also, it made me think of my high school had this kind of outdoor amphitheater kind of setup.
Oh.
And a lot of people would eat lunch on the little steps of the amphitheater, the seats. And this girl that I was friends with, in the middle of lunch, she breaks up with her boyfriend kind of very publicly in front of everybody. And I just happened to be outside that day because normally I ate lunch in the drama room. But I was there to witness it. And very loudly, she goes, I hope you learn the Cup song because you're going to miss me when I'm gone. And that was like the sickest burn.
A lethal blow.
It was lethal. Like everybody stopped what they were doing to like, oh. And that was like the campus joke for like 2 weeks.
Oh my
But
God.
she pulled that out and it was like
below the
savage. And I was like, how did you come up with that? She was like, I watched the movie last night and I just had to do it. And to this day, like, it's like watching Anna sing that song, I was like, it took me right back to that moment.
I'm gonna get a headstone. I was not gonna do this. I'm gonna tell you right now, but I'm gonna get a headstone just so that I can put that on there. That was not my death plan, but I've changed it now because of that person.
Yeah.
She said,
Worth
you are
it.
going to miss me when I'm gone. Oh.
I bet that person who got broken up with still remembers that. How could you not?
How could you
Yeah.
not? Like, that, yeah.
They
So,
probably
like,
talked
high
about
school-
that in... They probably talk about that with every therapist they have.
Oh, for
yeah.
sure.
That's a foundational event.
Like, yeah, core memory, foundational
sure.
moment,
Ugh.
like, yeah.
Also, speaking of foundational moments, one thing I realized with this movie is it made me very grateful, one, that I don't live in a dorm anymore, but two, that I don't have to huddle with a date and watch movies on a laptop anymore.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Because that's not, one, it's not comfortable, but that's just not an ideal viewing experience for anyone.
Nobody gets a good view from there.
No, it's not. It's just, that's not comfortable or great for anyone. And I don't like it.
Yeah. I'm glad that that time has passed.
Yeah. The one thing I will say about this movie, even though, I mean, there's a lot of it that I don't like, specifically that they made Rebel Wilson pretend like she's fat when she's not.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
It's
so aggressive.
The frustrating thing about not just a cappella, but mashups, which you mentioned earlier, Zia, is that mashups scratch such a specific itch in my brain, and I love them so much that movies like this, unfortunately, are great for that reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, when they get to the
there's
finals at the end, I'm like, God damn it, this works well.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's something very rewarding about media like this, or like Glee, right? That feels like a great, like, sports movie, right?
Yes.
Where it's like, yes, we're seeing the hero, like, get there and win. And, like, so much of this movie feels like, here are 7 songs we want to sing in this movie, and we're just gonna, like, dance around it to make a plot somehow, right? But
Yeah.
when they get to the "Don't You Forget About Me" part of that fucking end performance, I'm like, this is the greatest movie ever made. This is the best movie I've ever seen.
I'm
in my
standing
life.
in my living room cheering.
Yeah, my like head goes dizzy, my eyes are like fully glazed.
And
This is
even-
Coco Melon to me.
Even Jesse in the audience at the end, he does the, puts
God,
his hand up in the
it's
air.
perfect.
I was
It's
like,
perfect.
It's perfect.
Methies are just hot. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
They just are.
Yeah.
And movies like this know that. Glee knew that. They exploited us for it. They exploited us for making us listen to Journey for it. And I ate it up every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
It's
like, even
unfortunate.
that, I love the scene when they're performing. I don't know if it's like one of the lower competitions where they're singing that song they sing the whole time, and Becca's like, she like sees everybody in the audience checking out,
Oh, she goes rogue.
and like
Yeah.
and she goes rogue. But it like works, and then the second she starts adding her song, like everybody's ears, I was like that's like such a like sport movie moment
Yeah.
where like
Uh-huh.
yeah, it's like I gotta shift things up. Even if like they're gonna get mad at me, it's like, there's always that sports movie where like the guy's like, I'm gonna take all the shots, I'm not passing it anymore. And it's like, why are you mad? We won. But you didn't pass the ball, Very like Jamie Tart, Ted Lasso kind of thing. Yeah. And
Especially
and
for Aubrey,
Ted Lasso.
To be like, you're not a team player. And it's like, ma'am?
We're singing the same songs and you're like shocked that we're not winning
Right.
and dominating. Like, girl, like we need to switch it up.
Yeah, the audience is asleep right now.
Yes.
What are you talking about? It is, I think you hit the exact thing that I was referring to, Cody. This is a sports movie. And that is why
Yeah.
I am a sucker for it, because I love sports movies. And
Yeah.
that's unfortunate. Because this movie's not good. But I do love a sports movie.
Right. But the parts that
And
are
like a
good
bad
are
sports
so
movie
good.
is always just okay.
It's just the
Yeah.
tropes that I'm a sucker for.
Yeah. If you just hit all of those
And-
points, I'm in. I'm seated.
Yeah.
There was like one. So here's the thing: Rebel Wilson's she's fine, whatever. I completely forgot about the burrito moment prior to Party in the USA.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
The delivery that she has of "I've been shot" with the burrito was good and did make me
Yeah.
laugh, surprisingly. My confusion with that moment, which leads to the breakdown of the car, is there's a lot of lead time of seeing that burrito in the air. How do you not move away from the flying burrito in the air?
Yeah.
Which makes me confusion. But
The
That's a
movie
valid,
needed
that's a valid
conflict.
question.
That's pretty much what happened.
right. I personally, though, if I was on my college campus and I heard a bunch of these nerds doing something similar to a riff off, I would have walked very fast in the opposite direction.
Yeah. The fact that they, like, are posturing themselves as, like, the cool kids of, like, oh, we're in, like, the empty pool. And, like, we're just, like,
Yeah.
hanging out.
After
it's like,
hours.
No, you are not. Right. It's like, get a life.
Like,
They
listen,
like
ladies of the
going
80s,
back-
they are my siren song, but y'all are terrifying. So, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
And like going back to like the sports thing, I was like I like in my notes I was like, why are they acting like they're like D1 athletes? And, like,
Right.
the confidence
Literally.
of these acapella kids is, like, astronomical. I just need an ounce of that to get through my
Real.
workday. But, yeah, I was like, good on them. But
Like, could
also,
you imagine-
like, do you know where you are in the college ecosystem? Like, BFFR.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, could you imagine having, like, an 8 a.m. class the next morning with one of these motherfuckers? Just being like, oh,
Yeah,
God, here we
Your
go.
dorm is outside of right by the abandoned pool, and you have to hear them sing Blackstreet and Rihanna at 2 in the morning.
Yes, we found a dozen people who all have insufferable RA energy, but are not RA, so they've funneled that into this song and dance, and this is where we are. This is it.
I know Aubrey would never do it, but I feel like Jesse could be an RA, and he would be the worst RA. I don't want anyone that could sing at me to be an RA.
Yeah, it's too much power.
No, thank you. That's terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ugh, so scary. I did want to share for the class. I did have to go back into. I forgot my Facebook login, but I did do it just for y'all. A photo that I did put in the notes because I forgot that this happened. It was so long ago. From Pitch Perfect 3 when they were promoting it. I did take a photo with the cast. This would have been VidCon 2017. It's been a while.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
So that did happen. They're all very short but nice. And Brittany Snow is as pretty in person as she is in movies, which is unfair. So
Yeah, that is fucked up.
it's fucked up. It is fucked up. I'll tell you that. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So that's a thing. I forgot that there were 2 other movies for this until I looked at the photo and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. Wow. Next week, we are watching, when this is in the future, we are watching The King, which I'm very excited about because I have not seen that. So that'll be fun. Cody, we have some patrons to thank. Do you want to start us off?
Absolutely. Thank you to Alex Dornan.
Ooh, thank you to Jasmine.
Thank you.
Anastasia.
Ow, ow. Thank you to Megan Pattinson.
Ooh, thank you to Kati Kart.
Ooh. Thank you to Hope Castile.
Ooh, thank you to Maddie Facinelli.
Pew, pew, pew. Thank you to Genevieve Morgan.
Ooh, thank you to Danielle Burke.
Thank you to Sophia Salinger.
Ooh, thank you to Laura Forty.
Pew, pew, pew. Thank you to Dan Zeklos.
Ooh, thank you to Emily Ozera.
Pew, pew, pew. Thank you to Jaylene Ivishkov.
Ooh, and last but certainly not least, thank you to Ashlyn Vogel.
Ow.
Alright, Dia, I'm waiting on bated breath to know what fanfiction you brought to the space today.
Oh my god.
Oh, okay. So, again, don't have a job right now. So, like, I've just been rewatching and rereading and doing a lot of, stuff that's not work. And I found this. I don't know how I even found it, honestly. But it's a, like, Rosalie and Alice fanfic. And it kind of, like, details their, like, relationship leading up to, like, the events of Twilight.
Okay.
And it's very good. I'm, like, here for this, like, friendly content. Just happy stuff.
I'm excited.
All right.
The summary is, like, it says, because just when Rosalie thought she had it all under control, 2 new vampires showed up and insisted they were part of her family. This is the story of Alice and Jasper joining the Cullens and how Rosalie learned to trust her new brother and sister and how they all became a family.
Okay.
I'm excited.
It's very, very, very cute little thing that I've been reading. Not finished yet, but I'll have to let y'all know how it ends. Even though we all know exactly how it ends.
Right. What is it titled?
It's titled Family from Strangers.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's on AO3.
Amazing.
I like it. Okay. And the author?
It is by, one second, Staring at the Sky, all one word.
Ooh. Poetic.
I love that.
Hell yeah.
All right. Well, then if folks are interested in a little bit of family and fluff, it sounds like they have a great fan fiction to look at.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Great. Well, Zia, it has been amazing to be able to have you here. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so much fun. I love talking about, movies and fun stuff and fanfics. So, this was a great experience.
Always.
Yeah,
Always
a real
love
Venn
it.
diagram of your interests.
Where can folks go to support you, to support your work?
You can follow me on Twitter at Zia Thompson 21. That's me. Someone took my name on Twitter, was not available, so I had to add numbers, which is weird.
It's fucked up.
Never met someone with my name before, but, such is life. But yeah, I'm at Zia Thompson 21. I tweet about new stuff sometimes, but mostly it's movies and pop culture things that make me laugh.
I love that. Great. Well, then we will be able to send folks there, give you love, all the good things on there,
Hell.
and amazing energy sending your way for whatever comes next.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Always. Well, friends, until the king next week, as we say here in the Pacific Northwest.
Get bit.
Ooh.
Ow. Into the Twilight is an Earbud Media production. You can follow us on Twitter at Into the Twilight or on TikTok at Into the Twilight Show. You can find me at Cody Corral on Twitter and Allie at Alexandria Does. And you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/Into the Twilight. We have merch, so much stuff. All those links are in the episode description. And make sure to rate and review us on your favorite podcast hosting platform. It really helps the show. Thanks. Bye.
You've been listening to Earbud Media Production. Earbud Media, audio for everyone.